After 7 years of being a miserable husband, today I see my wife and first love close. When she finally asked for a divorce, I swallowed my ecstasy and begged her to stay on the day Fiona's ex-lover, Johnny Campbell, returned. She set up a spectacular fireworks display by the river to welcome him. The atmosphere was great, and they even embraced and kissed in front of everyone. I stood by silently, quietly watching. She even threw a welcome back party for him. On our way to the party, she glanced at me and nervously explained, "I just haven't seen Johnny in so long." I got too excited and kissed him. "You are not mad, are you?" I immediately put on a forced smile and humbly replied, "Of course not. As long as you are happy, I'll accept anything." She gave me a look of mild annoyance, then turned her gaze away. I didn't know what she was worried about. After all, I was nothing but a spineless doormat, so it was clear that I wouldn't dare to get angry. Johnny glanced at me in the rearview mirror, sneering as he said, "Fiona, this guy's worthless. He's been bullied like this and can't even muster a peep. He's not good enough for you. You should get a divorce and I'll marry you." I gripped the steering wheel tightly, sneaking a look at Fiona. Her eyes flickered and I could have sworn she was a bit moved, but she stayed silent for a long time, not answering at the party. Hinone's friends cheered loudly, welcoming Johnny back, but when they turned to look at me, their smiles quickly turned into sneers. Someone near me made a point of chatting, mocking me. Everyone knows Fiona loved Johnny for 10 whole years. If it weren't for Johnny's sudden departure abroad, she wouldn't have been too fragile and heartbroken to fall for some pathetic loser who took advantage of the situation. Now that the real deal is back, it's time for some people to step aside, don't you think? Thanks to Fiona, no one at the party had any respect for me, but I pretended I didn't notice. Quietly watching Fiona in the middle of the dance floor, Johnny took a sip of wine, pulled Fiona close and kissed her passionately. She shyly tried to kiss him back, but realized her glass was empty. She turned to me and snapped, "Bainbridge, refill my drink. Can't you see my glass is empty?" I hurried to pour her some wine, but she disdainfully shoved me aside and kissed Johnny again. Johnny suddenly grabbed my arm, preventing me from leaving. He looked me up and down with contempt and said, "I am really curious. How did you manage to trick a pure noble girl like Fiona into marrying you? Everyone says you are a worthless, self-respecting loser. Show me how you lick her boots." He tilted his wine glass, letting a few drops of red wine fall onto his leather shoes. Then, with a cruel kick to my knee, he forced me to kneel and crawled like a dog. Fiona just stood there, coldly watching. I gritted my teeth and knelt, wiping Johnny's shoes with my sleeve. As the mocking laughter filled the air, I caught a glimpse of Fiona's gaze. It was full of disgust. She walked over and kicked me aside with force. "You pathetic disgrace, get away from me." She paused, then added, "I am staying with Johnny tonight." I immediately understood her meaning and quietly booked them a room. At the hotel door, I stood stiffly. Fiona's dress was halfway off, and when she looked up and saw me, she was visibly annoyed. "Why aren't you gone yet? Don't you realize how disgusting you are?" I kept silent for a long time. When she was about to lose patience, I hesitantly whispered, "Fiona, I did well today, didn't I? Can I ask you, please, don't divorce me?" Her expression shifted, twisting into a mocking smile. "You with no self-respect, a worthless loser. How dare you stay by my side? Why shouldn't I divorce you, Bainbridge? Listen carefully, I am getting a divorce." The hallway was dimly lit. Fiona could see the tears streaking down my face, but she couldn't see the barely contained smirk on my face. Without a word, she grabbed a slipper from the floor and without a shred of respect, threw it at my face. Then the door slammed shut. Alone in the empty hallway, I finally allowed myself to smile wide and free. I thought, divorce, fine by me. Everyone thought I was hopelessly in love with Fiona, thinking I was a complete doormat. Fiona had taken full advantage of my devotion, shamelessly humiliating me and venting her frustration on me whenever things didn't go her way. But what she didn't know was that I'd been with her for 7 years, not out of love, but because of a contract.